Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great and welcome to your daily update. Of course, on Solana, a necessary update because yesterday we actually did, crash, I wouldn't say. Well, yesterday I called it a crash, so I'll stick to my words. And yesterday we crashed below our main support level between $90 and $85, which, I mean, it's not that much of a crash if you technically look at how much we dropped. However, the fact that this was such a strong support level and it was very well defended by the bullish Solana holders makes me say that it was a crash, all right? But technically it really wasn't. But right now, I mean, as you can see, we found support at the 786 Fibonacci level of the entire move up, which is, not the strongest level, but it's nice to see some support there. And you can see we're testing these levels. All right, so that's interesting because then the first thing we start to think is, well, is it actually possible that Solana recovers? All right, so that's what we'll be talking about. Just in general, I mean, Solana right now, to be completely honest with you, it's very much just following Bitcoin. All right, for Bitcoin, I mean, in all these market circumstances, even if we're bearish like this, at some point of time we'll find support, and you can see right now the correlation between Solana and Bitcoin is so high that basically if you want to know what's going on with Solana, you just need to know what's going on with Bitcoin. So that helps us because we did do an analysis on Bitcoin earlier. If we look at Solana on its own right now, what you'll see is that the open interest is practically the same. All right, so right now this is some spot buys coming in, this is a bit of recovery, which I think is fine. But I also do think that at this moment, Solana still very much is bearish, all right? The EMAs are sloping down, we're still making lower highs, we're still making lower lows. So even though we found some support here, I mean, we haven't even broken above the 236 Fib here. There's quite a lot of liquidity to the upside as well. At around $95 is where the most liquidity is at. I think there's a possibility we'll spike up there, but at this moment, given these market circumstances, I don't think it's most likely we'll actually go to those levels. But like I said, there's quite a lot of liquidity up to $90 as well, and just above that. So I actually do think recovery is, or at least a little bit of recovery, is most likely here. That's also what I expect for Bitcoin. See, for Bitcoin, it's a bit clearer because for Bitcoin, there's clear upside. There's clear upsides around 41,000 and possibly even higher. For Solana, there is upsides, but we're very, very quickly, we're getting towards levels around $80, $88 and $90, which are very strong, which makes sense because the Bitcoin dominance right now is actually increasing, all right? So that means that if Bitcoin recovers, is bullish, altcoins are also bullish, are also recovering, but less so than Bitcoin. So at this moment, if I would have to give you my most likely scenario, it is recovery. So bullish momentum up to $90, $88. Possibly, depending on what Bitcoin does, possibly a spike up to $94 and $95. But I do think resistance will hold. And I still do think that it's most likely that we'll drop back down towards $76 and $74 down here. That I could be wrong, of course, and I know most of you will think that I'm wrong. But at this moment, if I look at all the statistics, if I look at all the numbers around Solana, so momentum, the technicals right here, but also just the general feel of the market, I think this is most likely. All right, so we'll see. I'll keep you updated on this. Like I said, short term, I expect bullish momentum, but don't be fooled. All right, the market at this moment at least is still more so bearish. So those are my thoughts. All right. If you do have any questions, then of course let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to check out my premium and signal group down there as well. Very valuable. We're still taking profitable trades in there. So check that out. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.